Welcome to this month's Community Spotlight. This month, we're sitting here with Sasha from Goalie, and we're coming to you from the new Enterprise Rhino studio space. Isn't this fabulous? We just launched this earlier this year. This is a rentable event space for members and non-members for all sorts of studio needs. You can record product shoots, video shoots, interviews like we're doing here. Ooh. Options are very endless.
Headshots.
Headshots are a big one.
We've got backgrounds for headshots. There's a green screen. There's professional lighting. There's a little makeup stand. There's a lot of stuff in here for video.
It's a really cool space. If you haven't seen it, ping me or Lauren and come check it out. Sasha, thank you so much for taking the time and being here with us today.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit more about you and Goalie.
All right. Goalie, we've been here in Enterprise all through COVID. So I guess it's been like 4 years, something like that. I grew up in Denver, Boulder, Denver area, and went to high school in Westminster, went to CU Denver, got a finance degree, and really been an entrepreneur my whole life. I started a company that sold home improvement products on the internet, and we became much more of a manufacturer over time. And by total happenstance, one thing led to another. I ended up running Goalie many years later.
When did you launch Goalie? How long has Goalie been around?
Goalie's been around since 2016.
Long time.
Yeah, I actually didn't start Goalie. Goalie was started by a dad in Boulder. Their son was facing a lot of behavioral challenges, and they started taking him to behavior therapy. I think he was 7 years old at the time, and they learned all these things in therapy, but they had a hard time implementing them at home. And so his idea was, I'm going to make an app that helps people implement these ideas at home. Well, specifically one type of idea was called a visual schedule. So it's like, you know, if you tell a child, go get ready for bed, that instruction is too broad sometimes. So a behavior therapist,
what does that mean?
What does it mean? What is getting ready for bed? It's like this abstract thing. And so a behavior therapist will break it out into smaller chunks that they can understand. It could be like brush your teeth, put on your pajamas, and then they'll give them visual guides to help them do that. And that actually helps everybody. I mean, that's kind of like what your Google Calendar is, right? It's kind of like a visual guide to your day. So that's really the core of what Goalie does today, is how do we make these visual schedules and tools that kids can use?
I bet that kind of boomed during COVID, right?
We were still in our nascent stage during COVID. Candidly, we were really struggling at times. COVID was a weird time, but we're doing well now. I think people during COVID realized that they could actually successfully implement a lot of things at home with their kids, whereas before they thought like, oh, that's for the professionals somewhere else to do. But when they saw what the professionals were doing, they were like, oh, maybe I could do this.
Mm-hmm. Are you primarily just in the Colorado market, or does Goalie reach all the states or outside the states?
Yeah, so we make software and we make a tablet. So all of our apps and our video content are on this kid's tablet. There's no YouTube, there's no web browser, there's none of that. And our customers are all over the place. We focus on kids with special needs. Often there's an ADHD diagnosis. Maybe there's an autism diagnosis. Maybe there's no diagnosis. About a third of our customers just want like something for young kids that they know that they won't be on like YouTube on.
Totally.
But they still want some educational tools and stuff like that. So our customers are all over the world, really. We just had some orders in Singapore. We had some orders. We have a bunch of customers in Australia. But the U.S. is where we primarily ship our products to.
Awesome. Very powerful stuff. You're really helping people, which
I
think is really amazing.
We're trying to digitize these things so that ordinary people could implement them, so that you don't need a professional. I mean, having a professional is always better, right? But
not everyone can afford it or has resources to get to take a kid to a professional, where you're providing a software and a tablet that can be used at home. Yeah. You make it easy.
Yeah. Maybe they can't do everything a professional can do, but can we allow them to do like half of what a professional would do? Because that's a big deal.
Huge.
Yeah. And then for our customers that do have a professional in the loop, it just like really helps them implement at home what their kid's doing in session with a speech therapist or a behavior therapist or a pediatric OT, which is pediatric OT. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Because when I heard of it, it was like OTs, these kids don't have jobs. What do they need?
Occupational therapist?
Occupational therapist.
Is that school? I guess
Yeah,
it's kind of an occupation.
Apparently OTs work largely on fine motor skills and gross motor skills. And so like if you're an adult who has to see an OT, it's like, it's like picking up objects, lifting yourself off a toilet, that kind of thing. But if you're a kid, it's like handwriting, right? It's like fine motor controls like that. So yeah, OTs work with a lot of kids too.
I saw a speech therapist when I was a kid, and I remember my parents picking me up from school and taking me out of the afternoon to this other school and saying I was going to meet with this lady. And I met with her, and that's when I realized I had a speech impediment. I didn't know up until that point. And I gotta say, it was really embarrassing for me. She did say I was the fastest learner that she ever had. But I think it's because I was so embarrassed. And a tool like Goalie, if I could have done that in the privacy of my own home, in my bedroom, on an iPad with my siblings, it would have been so much easier for me as a child to get through it. I'm sure I would have learned just as quickly. But to be pulled out of my normal afternoon school every Wednesday for a year, it was tough. And I wish this would have existed when I was growing up.
That's really interesting. So I hadn't thought of kids being embarrassed, but it must be the case. But you're really a success story, right? Like, I never knew you had a speech impediment, so these services work. But yeah, I think we could help. Probably not. We're not there yet. Like, our focus is really on pre-verbal kids who are struggling with language acquisition. The challenge with speech impediments is they're all so different.
I had trouble with my R's.
Yeah, so there's lots of different words, letter sounds that kids struggle with.
Yeah.
And so identifying, what is this kid doing wrong? Are they putting their tongue in the wrong place?
Right, which was exactly what was happening to me, yeah.
Maybe they're breathing at the wrong point.
Right.
So that's harder for us to digitize. But when you know no words, get a Goalie.
So you've been a long time Enterprise member.
Yeah.
You were actually, I'm pretty sure you were a member before you launched Goalie.
Yeah, before Goalie I was a member too in my last company. So yeah, it's been a while.
Why did you choose Enterprise Coworking?
Okay, great management, number one, right?
Shout out Lauren.
The location's awesome. So we're at 30th and Lawrence. There's a park nearby, so I'll do walking calls out there. There's a bajillion restaurants and bars. So it's easy for the team to go walk somewhere and just grab a coffee. Location's awesome. Second is amenities in the building are cool.
You guys do a lot of rooftop workouts.
Yeah, we used to work out on the roof. So the rooftop's nice to just get away from the office environment, but we're really just 25 feet away. I think it's 25 feet directly above us.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty spot on. Yeah, so rooftop, the kitchen, we've done events here as well. So it's really nice to be able to rent these bigger spaces as well. All of that in one package makes this just convenient for us. Awesome. Well, we greatly value you guys being members here.
Thanks.
We love your whole team.
Thanks.
We appreciate you. We're happy to have you. We hope you stay forever.
We will.
We've got larger offices for
I'll
when
never
you're ready
leave.
to grow your team and move into bigger offices. We can accommodate that as well.
You actually did that once. We grew up, and then we had to scale down. So just as a testament,
it does go both ways. Yeah,
it goes both ways. It's convenient.
Great. Do you have anything else that you want to say to our viewers about yourself or Goalie or your team or Enterprise?
www.getgoalie.com. And enterprisecoworking.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me today and chat. This is a pleasure. And as a reminder, we're coming from our studio. So come in and check us out. We're here for your video and product needs.
You too can record a video just like this.
Just like this.